seen it someone else's perspective. The NBA, the MLB, the NFL, NCAA, everything sports related. Seen by Steve Plaza's perspective. It's the SB Show. SB Show with Steve Plaza exclusively on YouTube. Here is your host, Steve Plaza. We are back on this Saturday. Thanks for joining us. It's the SP Show, and today we're just going to talk about things that happened yesterday. We did not get the chance to upload the video yet. We are still editing it. Sorry about that, but we definitely will put that up today. So, what we're going to talk about is just plenty of things around the NBA, NHL as well, and NFL, some few things that are happening there, and just the normal stuff like yesterday. We're also going to start new segments called It's going to be called pretty much a sports recap, and then we're going to have Rumor Boom. So we're going to have a few new things that I'll be covering during the duration of the show today. So let's get this started. So in NBA, as always, we cover two main games of the day. So we're going to cover the Celtics Timberwolves because it just gave the Celtics the Atlantic crown so far. So Kevin Garnett returned to the Minnesota Timberwolves. He didn't return to the team, but he returned to the court to play against his old team. Timberwolves have been sparking nice lately. They haven't been a solid team though, but they've been there. They've been there. They've been at the top. So the Celtics coach Doc Rivers, he preaches a defense to his Boston Celtics that they gave him exactly what he wanted last night when they beat the Timberwolves 100-79. Not only did they outplay Minnesota in nearly every aspect of the game, they physically intimidated the Wolves and took them out of any rhythm for most of the night. So, with Ray Allen out for the fourth straight game with a bad ankle, Kevin Garnett scored 24 points, including 10 on key possession in the final quarter. Rajon Rondo only scored 6 points out, which is right in line with his recent production. He's only averaging 5.8 points per game over the last 4 games. His focus has been on getting the teammates involved, which resulted in 17 assists. He's recorded double-digit assists in the last 12 games, including tonight, longest streak in the league. So Rajon Rondo is a solid point guard. He's just not very consistent. He has a good game and a bad game. They were sending him everywhere in the league. You know, would have been sweet if he went to the Thunder, but you have their teacher there, which he's not doing a bad job. But he was more productive with the Lakers. But we'll see what they do in the off-season. So Doc Rivers says, our defense is who we are. It takes a ton of discipline to play this team. To take away all the bad cuts, I thought our guys did a great job all night. So they played well. They played well. What can you expect there? You know the Celtics are better than Timberwolves. Those teams aren't solid, you know. They're not solid enough, so they're just right in the middle of the pack. Yeah, the Celtics, what are they, 7th seed right now? Oh, they're 4th. Oh yeah, that's right, because they topped the Timberwolves. They were 7th though. So you can see the importance of this game. But then if you go to the Timberwolves, right now they're the 11th seed. They're behind the Nuggets by 3.5 games. So this game has impacted both teams. So you have key stats around the defense of the Celtics. They held Minnesota to 34.7% shooting, 15 assists, and they forced 21 turnovers, while Boston shot 48.9% and accumulated 29 assists and only had 9 turnovers. So, after trailing by as many as 16, Minnesota closed the gap to 10 points with 5:27 to play in the game. Kevin Garnett responded with back-to-back baskets, both over Kevin Love, and then 2 possessions later, another basket with a shot clock running down to give Boston a commanding 17-point lead with 1:29 left to play. So, pretty much the Celtics just were back and forth. Minnesota was trying to come back late, but they just couldn't get that done. But nice try, Minnesota, nice try. They did lose by 21 points. That's a pretty big margin, if you ask me. Now, what Kevin Love said, you can definitely learn a lot from that team, how hard they played, their mode, and how they approach the game at this point of the season. It just didn't seem, myself included, that we had our legs. We were getting good shots, but things just seemed to rattle out and not fall for us. He led the Wolves with 22 points and 11 rebounds, which were well under his season averages. So, he didn't do that well in this last game. So, something notable to have in mind from this game. Boston has now won 10 straight against Minnesota. They started 5-7 from 3, Minnesota did. But they only made one of their next 17. 21-point loss by Minnesota is their largest margin of defeat this season. Love leads the NBA in scoring, 31.3 points per game, rebounding, 14.1 rebounds per game, and 3-point field goals made, 46 for the month of March. No player in the league history has ever led the league in a calendar month in these 3 statistical areas. It's just crazy. Love is a great player. Great player. But it's not enough. It's not enough. So, the next games for Minnesota, you have at Portland. That's going to be a tough game. That's tomorrow. You have at Sacramento on Monday. That's going to be an easy win. And then Wednesday, hosting Golden State in Minnesota. I think that's going to be another win. So that's 2 wins right there. For the Celtics, tomorrow, they're going to host the Heat. That's going to be tough. Wednesday, they're going to host the Spurs. That's going to be tough. And Thursday, they're going to go to Chicago to play the Bulls. They have tough games upcoming. It's good that they beat the Minnesota Timberwolves. They need to win at least one of these next games. So, that's how both teams are right now. In the series, Boston leads 1-0. And it seems they're not going to have a rematch in the season. Doesn't appear as if that is the case. So in player stats, Garnett leads the Boston Celtics by 24. Love leads the Timberwolves 22. Rebounds, Garnett had 10. Love had 11. In assists, Rondo had 17 for the Celtics. Bryn Noir had 8 for the Timberwolves. Steals, 2 players had 3 for Boston. And Webster led with 2 for Minnesota. Stiemsa had 2 blocks for Boston, and Webster had 1 for Minnesota. Now, in the game stats, Boston led in field goal percentage, 48.9 to 34.7. 3-point field goal, Boston won, 33.3 to 25%. Free throw percentage, 84%. Timberwolves beat the Celtics, 72.7%. So, then you have the complete analysis of the game. You have Boston and Minnesota tied in rebounds, and then you have Minnesota beating Boston 14-13 offensive rebounds. Minnesota had 20 turnovers, Boston had 9. Fast break, Boston had 15, Minnesota had 11. Biggest lead, Boston had 21, Minnesota had 2. And yes, there was a point in the game when Minnesota was up. It was just very, very short period. Points in the paint, 46 Boston, 36 Minnesota. So if you're looking down this list, you have 1 tie, and then you have 2 Minnesota wins. Yeah, 2 Minnesota wins, 1 tie, and 3 Celtic wins in the game set. Technically 4 Celtic wins because they got way less turnover. So there you go. The Celtics just won on paper and everything. So there you have it. That's analysis of the Boston Celtics Minnesota Timberwolves game. So it was an impactful game, but not the most impactful game. So now we're gonna analyze the second match, and then we'll head to commercial. So you have the Rockets defeating the Grizzlies 98-89. The Houston Rockets made more than enough mistakes to lose to the Memphis Grizzlies, but they also made more than enough shots to win. Goran Dragic, he scored a season-high 25 points and dished out 7 assists. Courtney Lee poured in 17 points, and Marcus Camby grabbed 16 rebounds and blocked the season-best 6 shots as the Rockets, they used this lead 52.1% shooting effort to defeat the Grizzlies 98-89 on Friday at Toyota Center. So then you have Rudy Center, he got 20 points and pulled down 5 boards, while Marc Gasol scored 19 points and grabbed 9 rebounds to pace Memphis 27-22, which has lost 4 of its last 6 games overall, and 4 or 5 on the road. Grizzlies dominated Houston 28-24 on most areas of the stat sheet, but they sabotaged their chances of earning a victory by squandering 15 of 22 second chance points and shooting 37.2% from the field. So, you have the Grizzlies dominating the Rockets. Pretty much, but then they made mistakes. That's just crazy. So you have the Rockets beating the Grizzlies. So then Grizzlies, well, he was a Celtic, but Grizzlies guard Tony Allen, we just couldn't get a stop when we needed. We couldn't get a key stop, a key rebound, or a key loose ball down the stretch. We had to be more alert on the defensive end of the court. Then on the stat, Houston, they beat Memphis on the defensive glass 35-22. They out-rebounded its last 9 opponents defensively by an average of 33.1 to 27.6. Rockets have smashed at least 33 defensive boards in 8 of their last 9 games. O.J. Mayo drains a difficult jumper to slice Memphis' deficit to 84-81 with 4:39 remaining in the 4th period. But Houston quickly squashed the Grizzlies' surge thanks to a Patrick Patterson bucket and a one-handed runner by Dragic. So, Camby made his first start at center since he was traded to Houston earlier this month. He set the tone for the Rockets in opening period. The 6'11" veteran pulled down 6 rebounds, blocked 3 shots, and collected 2 steals in the first quarter, all while guarding the rim as the Rockets limited Memphis to only 19 points on 9 for 27 shooting. Marcus Camby says, "I'm just scraping. If you go 20 times, you might not get any rebounds in this league. You be persistent with it. An opening may open up, and the Grizzlies opened up on the last 2 possessions." So, he was referring to a strong performance on the boards, which included 2 key offensive rebounds in the final 2 minutes. So, after knocking down only 2 of 7 3-point attempts before halftime, Houston shot 5 for 7, 71% from behind the arc in the second half to help itself fend off several Memphis runs. The Rockets recorded their 12th consecutive home victory over the Grizzlies on Friday. Memphis last won at Toyota Center in 2006, Houston's longest active home winning streak against any opponent. So, Mike Conley from Grizzlies, however, did not have a good game. He had 0 assists in 26-plus minutes on the court. He marked his first time this season that Conley had failed to distribute a dime in a game in which he logged more than 1 minute. As a team, Memphis finished with only 10 assists, matching its season low and setting the Rockets' opponent's season low. Allen, 5 for 15, attempted to operate off the dribble too often, choosing isolation basketball over the balanced offensive approach that has allowed Memphis to succeed over the last couple seasons. Now, we have Dante Cunningham, Grizzlies forward. He suffered a right ankle sprain during the second period and did not return. He will be re-evaluated today. Then you have the Rockets' Kyle Lowry, bacterial infection, and you have Kevin Martin, strained right shoulder. He still has no timetable for their return. Luis Scola, 2,893, passed Kevin Cunner, 2,891, for 9th on the Rockets' all-time list for most career rebounds. Memphis guard Rudy Gay, 420, passed Shane Battier, 419, for 3rd on the Grizzlies' all-time games played list. Rockets never trailed, although Memphis tied the game 4 times. Houston improved to 16-0 this season when limiting opponents for less than 90 points, and 7-0 when an opponent